Hey guys, Mandy Jacobellis here. Welcome to our eyebrow extension certification course, and I'm here with our beautiful model Kayla. You can follow her on Instagram under Gloss Angeles for all things summer inspo beauty fashion. So please follow her. We're so grateful she's here to model our eyebrow extension before and after look. So thank you again for joining us, and without further ado, we're going to jump right in. Eyebrow extensions are one of my favorite services. The reason is it doesn't take a lot of time, the before and after is incredible, and you really can't tell the difference between natural brows and eyebrow extensions. So it's a really natural way to change a person's whole face. You can make them look more youthful, more wide awake, more complete, and it's a quick, easy add-on to pretty much any service you could be already offering. I wanted to know, guys, normally I would be wearing both my mask and my visor for PPE, but because I'm filming this for you guys and I want you to really be able to hear me, I'm not. Kayla and I have worked together a while. We know we've both been tested. We both don't have COVID, but I wanted to explain that in normal circumstances I would be wearing these. To prep for this service, we're actually going to clean her brows with some of our LAshX cleanser and water. And the reason we use this is because it's oil and glycol free. You don't want to clean the brows with anything that could leave an oil residue, because that could affect the adhesion of the adhesive that could affect your bond, basically. So, and you don't want to use anything with alcohols or silanes, because that could also dehydrate the hair and also affect the bond. So for the longest retention, meaning keeping those eyebrow extensions as long as possible, you do want to use a proper cleanser. And at the same time, you can explain to your client that this is how they'll be maintaining the brow extensions. They only want to use this as their cleanser because, again, it is oil, glycol, it's paraben sulfate surfactant free, and it actually has biotin and panthenol for the hair health. In my little hidden spot, I have some water, so I'm going to spray my cloth with some water. And half a pump of the cleanser is enough. Now, this is not going to soak our suds because there are no surfactants. It's going to emulsify. And then we're going to use this just to remove any makeup. Again, we want a really clean bond. If your client did have makeup on, take note of the design they like. Typically how they do their makeup is kind of the shape they might be wanting for their brow extensions. So I will prep and prime them before I actually analyze and consult with them. The reason being is I want to see what the skin looks like under the makeup. I'll just take another fresh cotton with some water and just make sure all the cleanser is off, and then I'll dry the area. We always want to apply brows, lashes, everything to clean, dry hair. So what I'm seeing with Kayla's brows is they start in the right spot. So if you draw a line from the nostril to the inner corner of the eye, that is where the brow should start. If you draw a line from the nostril to the pupil, that is about where the arch should be. So what I'm noticing here is one of Kayla's brows actually is missing a little section, and we want to fill in to kind of pull her arch out a little ways on this side. Maybe on both sides a little bit, just kind of fill in the top here. And then if you draw a natural line, if you draw a straight line from the nostril to the outer corner of the eye, that's about where the brow should end. Now, on older clients, you might want to lift a little more, which will lift the face, but because Kayla is beautiful and young, we're going to really give her a nice, dramatic, complete brow. You'll also notice the pattern of her hair. It lifts from the bottom, and then as it gets to the top, it's kind of hashing down, creating a herringbone pattern to the tail. So really trendy and popular right now is the start of the brows being kind of defined and straight up. It kind of gives that boxed front of the brow look, and it's really stunning and really popular right now. It gives that really editorial bullet brow. So because I know Kayla and I know she's always doing photos, she's a model, she'll go a little more on the dramatic side, and it's going to look stunning with her makeup and photography. So if it was a client that maybe never wore makeup, then that might be a little dramatic for them. So you want to kind of, get to know your client and know the look they're going for. So this would be order of operations. This would be the first step. Then it would be wax or tweeze. For today's purposes, I'm just going to tweeze her real quick and maybe trim some of the hairs. You want to do all of that before the extension so you can really see your shape clearly. With our design in mind, I'm just going to tweeze any hair that really falls outside the line. The idea is to make the brows look fuller, and sometimes removing some of the stragglers will actually create a fuller look because you'll have a nice clean line rather than dispersed hair. Be really cautious not to tweeze any hairs that you think you might want to attach to. I'm going to grab my brow extension kit now. We have, I think, 5 or 6 shades of the brows, and you can always mix or match. You want to find the one that matches closest to the natural brow. If your client, for example, is salt and pepper, you can mix the gray and the black, or the white and the black, or the silver and the black. If your client is blonde, they typically like the brown brows. So you can see Kayla's what I would consider blonde, but her brows are a little bit darker, so we're not going to use the blonde eyebrow extensions because they'll actually look too gold, too light on her. So we'll do the brown, the light brown, and then there's a dark brown and a black. So if you're not sure, you can literally take the hair out and place it and just make sure it disappears. So these brow extensions are what are called an I curl, which is a little bit less curl than a J. But if you had a client that had really long brows, and this has happened, I had a client that wanted a really bold, big brow, and we just didn't make the brow hairs long enough, we use the J curl in the 0.07, and we use the longer lengths. Otherwise, the brow tray goes from 5 to 8 in millimeters, which works for 99.9% of people. The other time I've used a J curl is if I wanted colors. Right now, sometimes it's trendy to do the purple or the blue brow extensions, green, any of the colors, wine. If you want to do the colored brow extensions, then you could use the J.07 and choose your lengths. With the adhesive, there is no need, guys, to shake it like crazy or buy a special machine to shake these. I think it's the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. There's just no need for it. A little shake side to side is fine. This is not humidity sensitive and it's not temperature sensitive. However, you don't want it to get above like 80 degrees heat, and you don't want to leave it in direct sun because that could spoil it. So just be careful what you're shipping. But as long as it's room temperature, 72 degrees, somewhere around there, you can just leave it at room temperature. It will last you 3 months once you open it. And yes, this is the same adhesive you use for lash extensions. So we use one adhesive for everything. It's for sensitive people and long lasting, and it does dry clear. So you can use it with any color, volume, or classic. So you just need to buy one product, which makes your life so much easier. It lasts a long time, and one drop typically will do the full brow or the full set of lashes. So that makes it really easy. There's a little color in here so you can see what you're doing. We made it originally all clear, but what we found was students didn't know how much product they were picking up. So there's a little bit of tint to that carbon so you can see what you're doing. But other than that, it will dry clear. And it looks almost like a water. It's very, very thin. People that are used to other adhesives are used to a kind of thicker, goopier application. This is really thin and should look like nothing on the hair. So when you apply it, all you see is the extension. One thing that is important when you put your drop of adhesive on the gel pad is that it creates a little dome. That dome is going to allow me to get underneath it with the curved the lash, so the concave part of that lash extension gets adhesive on it. Because when I flip that hair over to apply it to the natural hair, there needs to be adhesive on the inside of that curve. And I'll show you what I mean so it makes sense. And my tray is going to be set up with the logo facing me, so straight on. When I grab my hair, I'm going to come in at a 90-degree angle and grab it near the tip of the extension. The reason is I want to put that whole extension through the adhesive and then flip it over, so I don't want the tweezer in the way. So I grab it at the tip and I have now a 90-degree angle. You guys probably can't see because this hair is a 0.07, it's really fine. But it's actually 90 degrees to my tool, so that when I flip it over, it's already in position. And then the curved part is going to go through the adhesive like I would with classic lash applications. So I kind of go back and forth to get adhesive on that inside part of the curve. I'll flip it over. I'm going to lay the hair on top of her natural hair. And that's it. I'm going to rotate low so they can see. When we're applying the extensions, we want to follow the natural hair pattern. We're going to start coming straight up, and then as we work towards the arch, we're going to angle our hair out and down. So you're going to follow what most people's natural brows already do. And the most important thing to get that magnetic grab is to make sure that your natural hair and your extension are parallel and sitting on top of each other. If you come in at an angle, you're not going to grab the natural hair. So you'll notice the lashes are in different lengths. You want them all to end at the same top of the brow. So I start from the very bottom line of the brow and create a nice strong line there. But then as I add hairs in the middle to create that density, I'm going to get shorter, pick up the shorter extensions so that they all end in the same place. We don't want to have to trim because trimming can look blunt and not as natural, not as pretty. So my hair pattern is going up and then it's going to angle towards the arch. And typically I will do one brow and then the other brow, just because I get in this little zone. You guys will find this service so rewarding. It's such a great before and after, and I just find it really fun to do. You can get as detailed or crazy as you want. So you can literally, if you wanted, spend hours and hours just building out the perfect brow. But typically I will do a full brow in about an hour, a fill in about 40 minutes. So that's how I time my service. So notice the angle, I don't know, hopefully you guys can see. The first hairs were coming straight up and now I'm angling towards this arch. I'm creating a nice strong line along the bottom of the brow and then we'll fill in a little more. Almost done this side. So I'm going to now kind of take a look and just compare the two brows. I'm looking for anywhere I might have just missed, where I want to add a few more, and then we'll go to the other side. And you, if you're a perfectionist, can get really carried away with this. So try to keep an eye on your time and know that sometimes like beautiful brows doesn't mean like absolute perfection, because you could literally just keep adding and adding and adding. Okay, so that's looking pretty good. I'm going to switch to the other side. This is a service I feel that you can get the kit, maybe practice on 1 or 2 people and start making money with it. It's not something like lash extensions where you need to do, 20 clients to get faster and really hone your skill. I think it's a lot more technical, and then it's easier to pick up. And also the design aspects, if you've already been doing brow design, if you've already been doing makeup, if you've already been doing any of these services, it's going to come naturally to you. So I'm doing exactly what I did on the other side, on this side, to even her out. I think for now, this is pretty good. Like I said, I could keep going forever with the extensions because every little hair makes a difference, but I think this is a really beautiful result. Okay, you ready for the big reveal?
Yes, let's
Here
do
you
it.
go.
Oh my gosh.
What do you think?
They look amazing. That's like a crazy before and after.
It's so pretty.
Yeah,
I'm
that
so
looks
excited.
really awesome. I like want to see it without the nostril. Yeah. Wow, that looks so great. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. I will
love
see
it.
you tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow.
And thank you all for joining. I'm excited to see your work. If you have questions, feel free to contact me, and I really appreciate your time. Love you guys. See you soon.